What is the matter with somebody liking you? I don't get it. So this is about my friend Society Reviews, who I still plan to invite him on the channel at some point to talk pro wrestling, especially since now he's getting so much attention that he's getting shouted at about Chelsea Green and Rhea Ripley. I'm interested in picking his brain. But there was a meme on social media. A picture of Rhea Ripley when she was younger versus Rhea Ripley now. Of course, Rhea Ripley when she was younger was a tall, hot blonde, very much a trad wife type, versus now the goth gooner bait that she's running around. And Society Reviews wrote, she was better before, and if she didn't hate herself, she would see that. And then Rhea Ripley actually saw this and responded by saying, actually, I love myself a lot more now. I hated and still hate how I looked in the first pick. So please, and not so kindly, go fuck yourself, project your toxic masculinity and straight up insecurities elsewhere. This, of course, a lot of people jumped on Rhea Ripley's side in this issue, but I actually do side with Society Reviews because there was nothing wrong with the way Rhea Ripley looked before. And she basically did confirm that she had issues with how she looked before. Because she said, I hate it and still hate how I looked in the first pick. There's nothing wrong with what she looked in the first pick. Who the hell looks at themselves, a very tall, beautiful blonde girl, and decides, I hate this look. I hate this hair. I hate my body. I'm going to change how I look. And then you decide to get monster trucks in your earlobes. And now your earlobes are the size of manhole covers. Is that better? You decide that your arms and stomach and everything, which is perfectly clean the way God gave it to you, the way your mama gave it to you, and you decided, no, I need graffiti all over that. You know what my stomach and arms could use? Demons. Like what? I'm going to dye my hair jet black and, wear black lipstick. I mean, I don't know what's going on in her mind, and I don't pretend to. The thing is, it should not have been offensive for this guy to say there was nothing wrong with you in the first place. That's not offensive. That's not even meant to be an attack on you. Maybe the way he phrased it might have been proper. And saying, you hate yourself. And she admitted that she did. Like, I hated how I looked. Why? Honey, what was wrong? Did you get bullied in school? Because you looked too normal? So you decided to go in the complete opposite direction and turn your body into a subway terminal? Why would you do this? I question, why people do that to themselves. And I do it all the time. It's not just Rhea Ripley. I question all people who get these weird tattoos and they get the gauges in the ear and, the ring in the nose and all that kind of stuff. I just don't get it. I don't understand what goes through people's minds to modify their bodies that way. It's one thing if you absolutely need a new leg to go and get a new leg, but nobody has ever gotten a tattoo and that it's improved their look. I've just never seen that occur. Like, oh man, you sucked before you got all those tattoos and all those holes in your head. I've never seen that improve anybody, male or female, to be quite honest. Now, because I'm not that smart, I'm kind of an idiot. The AI on Twitter, his name is Grok. Grok has to explain things to MongoSlade. So Grok, take it away. Explain to MongoSlade what this tweet is about and what the position should be. Grok says this: Rhea Ripley advocates for self-love, emphasizing her increased self-acceptance and love for her current self over her past appearance. Okay, I don't see what was wrong with her past appearance. Nobody has stated in record what is wrong with her past appearance. When people go and get plastic surgery, right? Typically, when you get a plastic, like when Michael Jackson hated his nose, right? He messed with his nose so much. People just like, there's got to be something going on. And they started, projecting all the psychology onto Michael Jackson and why he's messing around with his nose. Of course, it comes that, he hated his father and he's got his father's nose and, it was a big bulbous thing and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of people don't like their nose or they don't like their breasts or whatever. And they slightly modify things. All right, still not a huge fan of that because, it's false advertising. If you go and get a whole new nose and chin and everything, your kid's still going to inherit what you had before. They ain't going to inherit the surgery. They're going to inherit what you had before. So you do have to love yourself, skin and bones and DNA and everything that comes with it. So I don't quite understand. Maybe it's not meant for me to understand, but I don't understand it. The second point Grok raises is she confronts societal beauty standards by expressing disdain for her earlier look, promoting authenticity and self-acceptance. Well, how is it self-acceptance if she hated it and then changed it? That's not accepting yourself. That's rejecting yourself. Because underneath all of those tattoos, underneath the gauges and the other holes in her head, is the same girl on the left. She's the same person. And I understand, the societal beauty standards and all this kind of stuff. Like, I get it. But usually when people have disdain for beauty standards, they don't meet them. Almost everybody who is trying to change beauty standards is because they can't meet those beauty standards. All these women out there who talk about, body positivity is because they're fat, right? Or they're oblong shaped or something like that. I mean, these are not Barbies that are out here talking about, oh, we need to change beauty standards. No, there's usually uggos that are trying to change beauty standards. They have weird noses or cock eyes, but, knock knees or something like that. There's usually something wrong with them. Crazy birthmark, or something like that. Anytime somebody wants to change beauty standards, it's because they don't meet those standards. Otherwise, you wouldn't even care about those standards at all. You should be comfortable in yourself and how you present yourself. The fact that she went through so much trouble transforming herself over the last, 10 years or so, means that it's actually something deeper than she's willing to get into. And to be quite honest, now that she's gooner bait, she feels validated that she made the right decision. That people don't even remember what she looked like anymore. Everybody is so entranced by the muscles and the leather and the tattoos and the piercings and all this kind of stuff, the goth mommy, that they have just accepted that. And they haven't asked questions about why she's changed and all this kind of stuff. And to be quite honest, it doesn't matter. I don't ask all these questions when a guy goes and gets tattoos, right? But I do question Brock Lesnar getting a gigantic sword on his chest. And we all do. We all ask the question about Cody Rhodes' gigantic neck tattoo. We all say, why the fuck would you do that? We make fun of that. Why is it okay that we can make fun of, Brock Lesnar having a gigantic dick on his chest? Or Optimus Prime being tattooed on Cody Rhodes' neck? But if we start talking about Rhea Ripley, then all of a sudden it's toxic masculinity and you need to learn how to not accept beauty standards or whatever the fuck. I mean, it seems very nonsensical to me. It seems really kind of dumb, to be quite honest. It seems like you're trying to use a lot of words to obfuscate the real problem. And look, again, I don't have a problem with people doing whatever they want to with their bodies. You want to chop off your fingers, toes, inject crack cocaine, do whatever you want. But there's something behind those modifications to your body. When people go and get veneers, like when Cameron went and got veneers, it was because his teeth was, like, you've seen his teeth before he went and got the veneers. Like when people get weave, have you ever seen these people hair before they get weave? There's usually something that is the precursor that leads to all of this stuff. Similar to Michael Jackson's nose. He hated his nose. There was a reason why he kept fiddling with his nose. There's a reason why Rhea Ripley does what she does. And that's all he's saying is, I wish she didn't hate herself. And she could have accepted who she was, because she was a beautiful girl. I don't think anything is wrong with that. Everybody's very mad at Society Reviews because he said this. I don't see it as being an offensive thing. I think pointing out the self-hate was what hurt her feelings, really. because it's true. She does hate herself. But why? And that's personal. The why is personal. She got to go. That's between her and her therapist. I'll say this. Body modification throughout history, throughout, the entirety of history, has been mostly by males and females for a reason. Okay? For a project, I was looking up body modification in Africa. And they used to do with this thing called scarification. Basically, they would take a knife or a sharp object and they would, carve into their own skin scars, like long scars and stuff like this. You've probably seen it in the color purple. And they held the babies and cut their faces. There was a societal reason for that. It was a beauty standard, a beauty standard in certain parts of Africa that they thought these scars were gorgeous. Or they thought that a man who could withstand all these scars was an honorable man, that it'd give him a good future. They thought these scars were sexy. They thought they were high status. It was the same thing when they elongate the neck. They have those long things that raise the neck all the way up. Or those head wraps that make you look like a cone head. Just like in China where they had the bound feet. They would break the foot and bound it up so that the woman would have small feet, because small feet was a sign of beauty. See how all these things, all these body modification, there's a reason behind it, a societal reason behind it. Whether you agree with it or not, you could at least say, they broke over 1,000 women's feet to keep their feet small, because small feet was a sign of beauty in ancient China. They carved the faces of over 1,000 beautiful black babies in Africa because they thought scars were beautiful. Who decided that tattooing demons on them was a sign of beauty? Where did that come from? When you have like the Maori, they used to do scarification too, but they would have these tribal tattoos. You see it in the Samoans. In certain other African countries, they will also have the tribal tattoos. They were for warriors, men of high status. There was a reason for the body modification. It wasn't just done for reason. It was a reason behind, a societal reason behind it. Okay? It meant to tell a story. When people get tattoos, a tattoo is a story. When people go and get piercings, it is a story. When people go and get surgeries on perfectly healthy parts of their body, it is a story. We are questioning, what is the story of Rhea Ripley hating her long blonde hair and hating her body before she got a bunch of tattoos? That's what we are questioning. And then when you see a lot of these bodybuilders, right? A lot of bodybuilders get into bodybuilding because they were weak and puny and small, and they were getting bullied and picked on. So they got into bodybuilding so they could look buff and strong and feel more confident. There's a psychological reason. So we've gone through societal reasons why people modify their bodies. Psychological reasons why people modify their bodies. And this is toxic masculinity. Ain't shit toxically masculine about this. It's an anthropological question, if anything. Psychological question. More so. We're questioning why a beautiful girl would do this to herself. And the answers we're getting is, shut up. Stop body shaming. Body shaming? That's psychotic. It says a lot that our society is more offended that people are questioning why individuals are doing things that are abnormal. Because this is abnormal. Even though we live in a society where pretty much everybody has a tattoo, which a lot of people get tattoos due to societal pressure. They get tattoos because their friends have them. They get tattoos because I got drunk at a party, bro, and I went and got a tattoo. Like the tattoos don't even make sense. Then they spend a lot of their lives covering them up. I know plenty of people who got a bunch of stupid tattoos that they went and tried to cover up later. And they're more offended that people are questioning them. Why did you get this? Why did you do this? Then the fact that it's even occurring in the first place. Why are we raising so many people in the body modification, I guess you want to say industry? Excessive amounts of tattoos and piercings and surgeries. And even going to the point of medications. Shouldn't we be asking questions why our daughters and sons are doing this to themselves? You know, I think it's an important question, especially as a black male, to ask, you know, when you see these hair-hatted hooligans that Tommy Sotomayor calls them, why won't black women wear their own natural hair? You know, if you see a young black man, when he got face tattoos, why is he doing that? You can almost tell 90% of the time he's in some kind of gang. And it's a societal thing. It's an environmental thing. And people can say, well, Rhea Ripley's in some kind of subculture where this is her thing. You know, punk rock. They get silly tattoos like this. Okay, you can say that. And that would be actually a good reason why she did it. But why does that exist? And why is that okay? I mean, have we not lived long enough to see a bunch of cringe punk rockers with all these really bad tattoos? You know, like, that's like we've lived long enough to see a lot of the supermodels with huge fake tits and how they look at, you know, 50 or 60 years old, and they don't look that good because, you know, they got huge fake tits. The tits don't change. The rest of the body does. All the other surgeries are starting to add up. It's like, you're going to be 70 one day, hopefully. You know, you're going to be 82 one day, hopefully. And it's really sad to see that not every part of the person's body is the same age. So you look at them and you're like an ogre, you know? It's very rarely do you see, you know, a woman who got fake tits when she was like 22 or something like that. They're still in when she's 52 and she still looks good. It's very rare. Usually it goes anyway, because once she starts having the tits done, she starts having the nose done and the chin, then there's the faceless when she gets older, then the hair dye, and then the wigs, and then all this other stuff. And next thing you know, there's nothing real about her anymore. She's just changed herself. She's so obsessed with her own appearance. She can't age gracefully. She can't accept that she's not this thing anymore. And it's gone. You know? There's just so many different conversations to spin out of this thing. You just can't label it toxic masculinity and then put it on a cupboard. It doesn't work that way. You had an opportunity here to open up a conversation about her subculture, about the kinds of lifestyle that she leads. And instead, we got told to shut the hell up and stop projecting your toxic masculinity. Fogs. We got fog words. That's what it was. Because these people are too stupid and too self-hating to fully explain why you would do something that doesn't make sense to somebody. Why you would do this? Like, people are currently asking right now, and I'm going further and further as the more I talk. Why would these women, Bonnie Blue and Lily Phillips, they're in a race, an arms race, see who have sex with more men in a day. I can have sex with 100 men in a day. I can have sex with 1,000. And people are like, why are they doing that? And I'm saying the same thing. Why are you doing that? It's abnormal. Why are you doing that? I don't care that you're doing it. Why? Well, I do it because I can. No, you're not doing it because you can. You could probably do a moonsault off the Sears Tower, but you're not going to do that. There's a reason why you're doing this. You're searching for something. What is it? Let's sit down and talk about this. Let's have a real conversation about this thing. But we don't get to have that conversation. Because the only thing we can discuss is toxic masculinity and how Rhea Ripley loves herself, despite the fact that she basically has mutated into a completely different person. She looks like Bebop from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's not a good thing. All right? But, I mean, it is what it is. I don't hate Rhea Ripley. I like Rhea Ripley, actually. I think she's tremendous. She's fabulous. And her look is perfect for pro wrestling. But I don't think Society Review said anything wrong.
Skin tone, so why attach yourself and piggyback the wealth you didn't earn or lack yourself? I'm telling you to own up to your own success and failures. It's a reason why these sleazy guys